There are many different types of welding processes. You can find that from a MIG, a flux, you can find stick and lift TIG. But the first is DP200 dual pulse MIG welder, adds all of those into one. So this right here is a very user-friendly but yet very complex machine. So what I mean by that, it's very user-friendly to set up, but then you have a lot of capabilities that you would not find in a standard welder. But this right here is a pretty solid one, and I'm very happy with it. So one of the things off the top, just looking at the display on it, this is a pretty nice casing on it. And when it comes to the setup on it, you've got your electrode connections. You can also run the 5-pin spool gun as well as the foot pedal. So this gives you a lot of capability. So right now we've got the spool gun connected to it right now, and that gives you the option to run softer material for welding, aluminum, and so forth. So this is capable of aluminum, stainless, carbon, so this right here is an all-around very versatile welder. So when we look at the details on this right here is set up this fully upgradable. So this one thing inside the case here, you can open it up and find that you've got a USB port up on the top side of it, so you can upgrade that software. But you can run the large or the small spool on it, and it comes with many different V curve blocks, and you've got the so you can run the softer material with the different wheels that go along with it. But looking at the display on that, that's where this makes it very, very user-friendly. So if we can start off, you can see that you got multiple functions on this, and you can change this with the selector depending on which one you want to go to. So once you want to go into, say, the steel, now you can change it from steel, stainless, aluminum, different gauges, or, so this right here, now you can move over or back out of it to come back to your home page. But at that same time, we're going to go ahead and change this back over to the steel just to stay in. Now, we move into our gas, we're set at 75%, but we can change that 90-10, 98-2. And so this right here gives you a lot of capabilities depending on your gas. So now you can move into the wire size. So we've got this plugged into 110. So that's going to change some of the parameters or limit it. So we can run the 0.024 up to the 0.045 through this gauge here, very simple. So we're going to turn this up a little bit to get into a thicker material. So that's going to also offset the type of thickness that you can run based off of your amperage coming in as well as your wire thickness. So it's going to have those self-setting parameters to get you in the ballpark. So this is really a solid machine when it comes down to it. So it gives you a lot of capabilities that many others do not. So let's set this on some sheet metal range, and we can move in a little farther, and it'll see wire feed per second as well as, and then you got the 17 volts. So that right there is going to give you that parameter off the top, but then you can go in and check more details on changing far as your wire speed as well as your voltage on that. So this right here, again, it's all around very versatile, changing from 2T to 4T. You've got 50 different memory settings. And when it comes to the gun here, you can change that here with the MIG or the spool gun just with the digital selector here. Moving into the gas, so it gives you a gas check to see where you're at far as setting your YESWELDER regulator and metering valve here. So the shielding due to the air or the wind that's blowing around it. So as you just heard, the fan kicked on. So if this thing is not in full operation, the fan's not running. So it's going to kick on ever so often just to keep it where it's staying cool. So we've got our gas check in here. We can move over to a pulse setting. You can change that single or dual pulse once we got it set up correctly. Hey, you've got your advanced, so you got your post flow and your pre-flow, your burn back, and you can change that inductance on it too. So again, it's an all-around great machine. But this is one of the things that I say that's very advanced, but when it comes to being user-friendly, this is where it sets itself apart. So you've got a help manual built in digitally here, or you've got the screen here, just the old school version. So it basically walks you through on the chart here, letting you know what the duty cycle is, what the mode to select, and what it's capable of. And then just moving into your gas and wire feeder. So you've got your manual here, but at the same time, you've also got the help menu that basically is your guide right there at your fingertips at all times. So it'll very easily walk you through on setting up as far as the diagram, the MIG, the spool gun, the flux core. And so as you see down there, it changes where the wires are actually connected. So it's super user friendly when it comes to that. So we can move into the controls on it and see more details of, setting parameters up and the display of what things are. You come down to the specs on it, and it'll basically walk you through what your wire feed to your setting, the wire thickness and so forth. So it's just all around a great machine. So I've had it for about, I don't know, 6 months or so, and I've just been very happy with it. So if you like a lot of these capabilities, but you don't want to spend the extra coin for the dual pulse and the, you know, the excess with the things that you would not normally be needing, the MIG 205 DS and DS Pro is definitely a solid machine too. So basically what the difference is, this is going to have a digital display. It'll still be capable of your MIG, your flux, your stick, lift TIG, setting your parameters digital, but just being fine-tuned, running 0.023 to 0.45, 200 amp unit, run stainless, aluminum, same type of material, a 5-in-1 processor here. So between those two, that's great units to be able to choose from. But when it comes down to it, if you're looking for some of their PPE, some of the accessories, consumables, YESWELDER is a pretty solid company. So I'll put a link down below with a few of these items in it, as well as a few extras there. But when it comes down to it, if you want to step up and get a plasma cutter, the 65DS, you're talking a max cut of 63, 64. So 110, 220, you choose. So all in all, I've been dealing with YESWELDER overall for about 2 years now, and I'm super happy with them. So these are two great machines that you can use for MIG, stick, so forth. And here's a couple of great machines when it comes to cutting. So check it out, guys, at the link down below, but I'm very satisfied with them.